sensitive. I came back and
Well, Patrick, it's the vanilla with chocolate chips.
we had a whole conversation about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hunters go forward, 2-time NASL Golden Boot winner with Minnesota United, Christian Ramirez.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Just jumping off there, what is it like going into this game against Minnesota? I think you mentioned in the preseason you haven't been back since they built a new stadium and everything.
Yeah, I haven't been back since 2018, so it'll be a mix of emotions, but I'm excited. My wife and Zara Novo will fly out. Zara obviously hasn't been back since she was 2 months old when she was born there. So it'll be good to see how far that club has come, and just to see everyone that I haven't seen in that time.
What it's gonna be like with your daughter, showing her like just the area and being like, yeah, you had a few months here before we went somewhere else.
Yeah, it'll be fun. My wife will take her around. They'll be there for just a day and fly back after the game. So it'll be a cool moment for sure to have her out there.
And what are you expecting from this Minnesota team?
Yeah, they've bought into their interim manager. They worked really hard defensively and picked their moments offensively down in Austin. Historically, they haven't been a great road team, but at home they've performed really well, and their crowd backs them. So now that they have a manager in place that comes, I think, next month, all the players are playing to show him what they could bring, and they know that he's watching. So it's a team with nothing to lose, really.
And what's your thoughts about drawing Houston in the Concacaf Cup?
Yeah, we just keep drawing teams that
I was
played.
gonna say.
Yeah. No, it's good. They're a good side. They play a great brand of football. So it'll be a great matchup for the neutral eye to see, both home and away. So yeah, it'll be fun to start that run of games.
And how do you focus on making sure you're still paying attention to the St. Louis-Houston series, but also focusing on Minnesota and not letting your mind get too far ahead of itself?
It helped that it was late last night, so just woke up to the result and then watched the highlights this morning. So didn't really stay up to watch it. But like we've talked about from day one this year, we have to stay focused on each game and not get too far ahead of ourselves, and just enjoy the ride that's coming along. And that's this weekend in Minnesota, and then once that's done, Saturday night we'll recap it Sunday, and then focus on Houston for those next days, and then once that's done, shift over. So just one game at a time, as corny as that sounds.
Thank you.
Christian, you guys had a sellout crowd this past weekend. Can you talk about the emotions that you and some of the other teammates were feeling, going into getting the rings and the banner, and then the first game of the year?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster, just because you summarized the whole year last year into a 5-minute presentation, and finally being able to see the rings. That was the first time that we saw them, and just putting them on was special. And then you had to hand them right back and try and shift your mind to what was going to happen next. But it was great to be able to witness that and be a part of it, and just see the excitement again. The atmosphere felt like it was in the MLS Cup at kickoff, so that was a great moment.
And can you talk about the progression that you've seen from Jason, in the preseason to, how his performance? He had, I think, 2 shots on goal. Just talk about his progression that you see, being in that forward group.
I think he's just finding his spots where he's comfortable, and it takes time, and he's maturing and he's growing into himself. So we saw flashes of it last year, whether it was in the game or in training, and he just has to build that consistency. And to be fair, the staff has been patient with him and let him express himself, and he wants to learn, and any way I can help him, I try. And he's really open to it, so it's great to see him. I mean, he had a great preseason, so it was great to see his reward to get that start on Saturday.
And during the last leg of the preseason, you had Chase Adams out there with Santa Barbara. I know that's your project that you're working on. How's his progression coming on, with your coaching?
Good. He's young. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. Just let him make mistakes and let him grow into himself, and see what needs to be worked on and what needs to just be fine-tuned and what's his natural talent. So yeah, just seeing him out there was good, because I know he had that on his list of just being able to train with the first team in this calendar year. So that was nice to see him out there.
And last year you guys sort of struggled on the road. This year, coming into this Minnesota game, is there something that you guys are going to work more particular on this season, going for your road games, or is it just play the game like normal?
It's us showing growth in going into this first road game, to see where we are as a group in comparison to last year, because last year obviously our road performances early on weren't up to par, and drastically were very different than the side that we showed that we were at home. So it's if we can take that on the road and just say, well, this is us, and play our style of football, and have that mentality. So it'll show us where we're at right now, and where we need to work on to go to where we need to be.
Last one for me. Before the match, what's your go-to song that gets you in that moment ready for you to get to take the pitch?
I don't listen to music. Well, whatever's going on in the locker room, I listen to. I have different other little things that I do. I'll have my pillow cloud candy that people just start stealing now. That's my only superstition that I have, is I need to have that candy with me, and have a few of those. But yeah, that followed us all last year. Guys picked up on it pretty quickly, and yeah, I found myself not having any in my locker at one point.
Christian, can you talk about last night, what that meant to you, what that meant to the team, and then how you guys kind of switched the mentality and focused on the year to come?
Yeah, being there with our significant others and everyone, just summarizing the year last year, just to finally put it to rest, and take the moment for what it was, and how special last year's journey was definitely a real intimate moment. And then quickly switch over to bringing in the new guys, and setting the tone for what this year could present, and the journey that we're about to take. So it was a good moment to be able to recap everything, but then now shift the focus to this year.
Oh, sorry.
One last thing, with Jason getting the start and everything, I just wanted to ask you your thoughts on the forward depth on this team. We've talked about the whole team having depth, but specifically in the forwards group.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for Wilfred, I'm sure, and it's just a constant competition. And it'll be, when you get your opportunity, take your opportunity. Because if not, the guy behind you is itching for an opportunity. And everyone from Cucho down to myself, down to Marino, to Alex, to Jason, to Diego, we all know that. And yeah, you can't accept not playing, because the staff won't let you, and you want to be pushing. And obviously I wasn't as happy not to play over the weekend, but I was happy for Jason to get the start and for the team to win. So that's the most important part, and just be ready when your name is called.
And how much better does that internal competition make the whole group?
Oh, that's the reason why we won last year, because everybody was pushing each other, not just in the forward line, but everywhere else. Guys like Sean, for example, was being plugged in and pushing people at different positions. Mo had Julian pushing him. It was good. So yeah, it's a healthy competition, and we all know at the end of the day it's not our call. So we can't get mad at each other. We can only help each other, and everybody knows that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.